All right. Greetings. Greetings, greetings. May peace and power and elevation be to you guys out there. This your girl Tiffany coming through live in effect. And I'm right here on the StreamYard. So if you are checking in from YouTube, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell and share this video. If you are beaming in from Facebook, go ahead and share the video. All right, so today's topic today's topic is dealing with Black History 365. John Merrick, African American business owner. Okay. But before I get to that, I want to read a quote for today from this book right here, which is called Iyanla Vanzant, Acts of Faith. So the book is kind of beat up, but it's okay though. So today is the 7th of September, which is what they call Labor Day. So it's not really Labor Day for everybody because people still got to go to work. Yeah. So everybody can't call off on Labor Day. So including me. It sucks. But anyways, I want to read a quote for today from the book of Iyanla Vanzant's Acts of Faith. And she uses a quote, say, vulnerability is the gift I give to those I trust when I trust myself. Terry Kellogg and Marvel Harrison. Okay. And the quote goes like this. People are nice to us and don't ask anything in return does not mean there is something wrong with them. It is often hard for us to believe people can like us simply for who we are. Benny, a white man, was willing to give Frank, a black man, a kidney. Frank wouldn't accept it. He had known Benny for 3 short weeks. Frank knew very little about Benny, but he knew Benny must have a hidden agenda. Nobody gives a kidney away for nothing. Frank confronted Benny with his anger, suspicion, and fear. Quietly, Benny replied, I know you like to go fishing. I know you are a good father and a loving husband. I know because that's what you've shown me based on what I've seen. I know you don't deserve to die. Frank accepted the kidney. Benny moved to Arizona and never saw Frank again. All right, so and it says, blessing comes in all colors. I get the ones I deserve. So that means people come in disguise, okay? People that you don't know especially might come in and give you something and don't expect anything out of you because the only thing they want is wish you the best and wish you the success in life. So that's why giving can be important, okay? It's okay to give and not always expect something in return. Okay? I've done it before. I've given some things to people and not expect for them to give me anything in return or anything back. So remember, as long as you don't get taken advantage of, it's okay to give a little what you got. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with it. Because it just shows your compassion. It shows what kind of person you are. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the daily Black history. So today, Black history, we're going to be dealing with John H. Merrick. As you can see across the screen, John H. Merrick was an African-American businessman. So I'm going to show you a picture of him. Give me a second. All right, so this is the picture of Mr. John H. Merrick. All right, that's the picture of him, as you can see. Okay, so here's some information about him. So John Merrick Insurance, he had an insurance company in North Carolina. John Merrick was an American businessman born into slavery in Clinton, North Carolina. Merrick founded various companies in Raleigh, North Carolina, and Durham, North Carolina areas, most notably the North Carolina Mutual Life Insurance Company. Portion of his wealth were channeled back into the Black community through philanthropy. His business acumen and social consciousness made him one of the most influential members of the African American community in his lifetime. Give me a second. All right, so let's look at his early life. Okay, Merrick was born into slavery in Clinton, North Carolina on September the 7th, 1859. Following his emancipation, Merrick learned to read and write at a Reconstructionist school. Most newly free Black at this time were merely trying to survive, as they lacked many of the rights that their white counterparts possessed. Blacks also faced blunt discrimination and a lack of economic opportunity from biased whites that were opposed to their emancipation. Growing up in this environment, Merrick was forced to begin work at a young age in order to support his parents and siblings. Merrick became a brick mason while simultaneously learning the barber trade during a lull in construction in order to make ends meet. In the brickyards, Merrick had a first-hand look at Durham's impoverished Black population, whose improvidence impressed upon his mind the thought of doing something for their protection. His early jobs paved the way for Merrick's future success as a barbershop entrepreneur and later as a business mogul and philanthropist. So, talking about coming from a humble beginning. This brother went from learning how to become a barber, cutting hair, and owning a barber shop to becoming a insurance to running an insurance company and doing philanthropy work. So let's look on to his years as a barber. All right, real quick. So Merrick's first financially successful business venture was his ownership of barbershops in Durham area. His eventual financial achievements in the barbershop business gave him the necessary experience and resources to kickstart his later business endeavors. Merrick joined John Wright, a fellow barber who decided to establish a barbershop business in Durham and offer Merrick employment in the new shop. Eventually, Merrick became a partner in the barbershop and ultimately became the sole owner of the business when Wright retired. Owning the Durham barbershop brought Merrick immense personal success. He rose from an unschooled, self-trained boy to a successful businessman and substantial citizen. John N. Ingram notes that few Blacks in the late 1800s demonstrated such androgynous for business success. Merrick later expanded the barbershop business by opening more branches and became extremely successful. Through his entrepreneurial experience in the barbershop business, Merrick accumulated wealth and was able to build relationships with many prominent white families of the time. His financial success allowed him to live somewhat extravagantly, purchasing a lavish 6-room cottage for his family. Merrick's barbershops catered to wealthy white men, and Merrick's endearing and industrious attitude, he was noted to be unselfish and altruistic, allowed for his powerful white clients to become his friends. Many older members of Durham's African American community told stories about the fabulous gift that Merrick received from his white confidants. The networking and relationship that his barbershop business allowed for would serve Merrick well in his future business undertaking and enable him to develop the necessary social skills to thrive in a white dominant society. The success that the barbershop brought John Merrick was uncommon for a black man. Reconstruction had only just concluded, yet Merrick was already beginning to transcend financial racial barriers. His wealth and influence among numerous prominent white families of the time was extremely rare for someone of his race during this time period. And these resources paved the way for even more individual success. So, his main clients, when it came to barbers, were white, wealthy men, because they were the main ones that could afford his service. So, the more white clients he got, the more money that he started to make. And that's where he generated most of his profit off of those white clients. The wealthy ones at that. Now, see, let's go down here. It says insurance career. Now, let's talk about when you start owning an insurance company. So it says Merrick's success did not stop there. His newly gained experience from his barbershop ventures propelled him further into the business world by laying the groundwork for the creation of many other prosperous companies. These successive business undertaking brought Merrick immense wealth and financial security. His journey into the world of entrepreneurship was uncharacteristic of, and therefore extraordinary for a black man of his time. Yet the city of Durham did not possess the white aristocracy that could be found in older cities like New Orleans. John Merrick's various business endeavors all flourished during his adulthood. These included his participation in the creation of the well-known North Carolina Mutual Company, the Merrick Moore Spalding Real Estate Company, the Mechanics and Farmers Bank, and the Bull City Drug Company. R. Andrews McClant's comment that it is only natural that a man who has been personally very successful in the conduct of his own business, which in Merrick's case was his barbershop, become a leader in community enterprise, a feat he achieved with the establishment of his various companies. Merrick's most profitable and noteworthy undertaking was the creation of North Carolina Mutual Life Insurance Company. He cultivated his relationship with Durham's influential white families that had developed from his selfless personality and reliable business practices here, as he accepted loans from Washington Duke, his willing friend and customers, in order to start the business. Being Duke's personal barber, the two became such close companions that Duke was more than willing to loan Merrick the money to cover the startup costs of his new company. Together with Dr. Aaron Moore and Charles C. Spalding, Merrick helped increase the wealth of the oldest and largest African-American life insurance company in the United States. Okay, North Carolina Mutual was hugely successful. The company sold $4,986,344.40 of insurance and conducted business in many southern states across America. The enterprise grew into the world's largest Negro business of the time, making Merrick one of the most successful black men of the time. Okay, so so right here, this is his home, his residency, his first home. And this is the Mechanics and Farmers Bank building right in Durham, North Carolina. So it says additional business ventures. So Merrick's other business venture brought him affluence, power, and prominence as well. He was influential in establishment and success of the Mechanics and Farmers Bank, the first bank in Durham owned and controlled by African Americans, which grew rapidly and was well supported by Black citizens at the time. Additionally, Merrick was instrumental in the formation of a much needed African American drug store in Durham named the Bull City Drug Company. According to R. Andrews McChanks, the Bull City Drug Company was very successful and was flourishing by 1920 when McCants wrote his biography on Merrick's. Merrick's plethora of triumph business undertaking brought him wealth, power, and influence that not many other African Americans of the time could lay claim to. Unlike most other blacks during the post-Reconstruction era, who were constantly degraded and thought of as the inferior race, Merrick was looked up to his community and became a well-known figure of power amongst Durham's citizens. Durham's Black community considered Merrick a sort of wizard because of his impressive relationships with the big whites of Durham and his ability to be a friend to his townspeople. His he was uniquely successful not only in his financial achievements, but in that his persona, wit, and success earned him reverence from blacks and whites alike, as can be seen by his friendship with Durham citizen, ranging from the poorest black farmers to the most prominent white families of the time. All right. So let's see. Let's find out more information. Okay. So it says contribution to African American community in Durham. Merrick channeled his commercial success back into Durham's African American community via philanthropy. Most of the influential and powerful American citizens at the time were white and did not care enough to help address the issue of African American poverty, lack of necessary services, lack of education. In fact, whites went out of their way to degrade blacks by keeping them ignorant and denying them service that we consider second nature today. This is where Merrick stepped in. Every company he helped establish provided a necessary service to African Americans of Durham that they otherwise, in all likelihood, would not have had access to. There is a sense of security that results from knowing one's family will be taken care of financially if one were to meet a tragic fate. And Merrick provided Durham's blacks with this security when he started the North Carolina Mutual Life Insurance Company. He was concerned with providing insurance protection for his race and used his initial success in barbershop business to launch a new company that would ease this concern and aid his people. The formation of Merrick's first company. All right, and then there's the historical landmark, which was considered the Black Wall Street of Durham. Anyways, he said the formation of Merrick's first company served as a transition into other ways that Merrick could help his African American community. He started the Merrick Moore Spalding Real Estate in order to provide blacks in Durham with a real estate insurance because regulation prevented North Carolina Mutual Life offering this service to customers. Merrick's formation of the Black Mechanics and Farmers Banks also provided necessary banking service to Black citizens in order to stimulate personal and business spending for in the era following the emancipation of slaves. Most white banks in the South refused to loan money to Black. Additionally, John Merrick's creation of a colored drug store provided Durham's African American population with necessary medicine and remedies that they otherwise would not have access to. For at that time of the store's opening, there was only one African American drug store in Durham, which was not certain centrally located for the population. Finally, Merrick helped provide a home for a public library for Durham's African American children and donate $1,000 towards the library maintenance. Through his philanthropy, business ventures, and charitable use of his accumulated wealth, Merrick provided the blacks of Durham with many necessary services that they would otherwise be ignorant of and lack access to. Not only did Merrick recirculate his wealth back into the Durham community to increase the quality of life of Durham's black citizens, he also provided them with job opportunities that would not be known by or available to them otherwise. During the post-Reconstruction era, it was unlikely to see African American businessmen, although it had been a few decades since black slaves had been freed. They remained at the bottom of the United States social hierarchy. Racial norms dictated that they were to follow in their relatives' footsteps to do the same work that their parents and grandparents had done. This work consists mainly of farming, and most free slaves became sharecroppers after their emancipation, for farming was all they knew. However, Merrick's many businesses created novel and different job opportunities for blacks that they would not have had access to otherwise. All right. So, and then let's go down to his personal life. So in 1880, Merrick lived with his wife, Martha Hunter Merrick, in Raleigh, North Carolina, where he attended barbering school. By 1900, the Merrick family included 5 children, 3 daughters, Geneva, Mabel, and Martha, and 2 sons, Edward and John. The household also include other extended family members. All right, so we're going to go down to where it says legacy. So the legacy, a new black middle class emerged in Durham. The city's black elite had the chance to explore the real estate, insurance, banking, and pharmaceutical industries instead of accepting the strenuous run-of-the-mill jobs that whites did not want. It is noted in Merrick's biography that young pharmacists in the black community who did not have an opportunity to practice their trade were financially able to have access to jobs that they truly desire with the development of the Bull City Drug Company. Durham's black finally had opportunities to explore employment options that would not have been available to them had Merrick not started his businesses. Merrick's powerful status also served as an example to Durham's black community that they could rise to prominence and achieve entrepreneurial success no matter their skin tone. His financial success and rising influence gave them hope. If John Merrick, a black once bound to slavery, could start his own business and ultimately build an empire, why couldn't they? The Journal of Negro History noted that because black had opportunities to be employed by new businesses or to create their own businesses, they emerged into a new social, economic, and intellectual order. For example, following the success of Merrick's various companies, some of Durham's other black citizens started a hosiery mill, the success of which so large that it soon had a chain of 14 mills. John Merrick's example got the ball rolling in black businesses, creating a unique Black Wall Street in Durham. Merrick helped create economic prosperity among the blacks of Durham, which laid the foundation for the establishment of a future self-sustaining community of independent, educated, and experienced black businessmen, which served as another small step in the fight for racial equality. John Merrick was an exponential figure in North Carolina's history. Not only did he defy supposed set in stone racial roles in order to achieve affluence that was customary uncommon for blacks at the time, but he also rose to greatness with support from whites themselves. Merrick then directed his wealth back into his community, and by doing so, provided services to blacks that improved their quality of life and presented them with new and diverse job opportunities. His achievement served as an example that opened the doors for a black business class to emerge in Durham. All right. So here's the references at the bottom of the page. If you want to look up more information, Okay. So yeah, that's the information about John Merrick. So actually, he started from one business and created another business that created another business opportunity. So he started off with the barbershop. And then from there, he started with the life insurance company. And from the life insurance company, he started off with the banks for African Americans, farmers, and mechanics. And also from there, he created the pharmacies, which help to give aid to those who need access to over-the-counter medicines or any type of remedies, etc. So he helped to bring light into the Durham community of North Carolina. So he became that prominent figure. All right. So this is more information right here. I'm on scholarwayMagazine.org. The website, the name of the page is The Story of John H. Merrick and the Largest Black Life Insurance Company in the U.S. Okay. So he died on August 6th of 1916. Okay. Let's see what else we can find. It says, NC Mutual had a tough beginning. It didn't make a profit until its fourth year of operation. In 1920, a year after Merrick's death, the company was worth nearly $2 million, with around $30 million in assets. Okay. While Merrick certainly had plenty of his accomplishment, his business partnership had the most lasting impacts for Black Durham. In addition to the sheer success of North Carolina Mutual, Merrick supported Moore's founding of Lincoln Memorial Hospital, Durham's first Black hospital. Which exists as a medical clinic. He also supported the founding of Mechanics and Farmer Bank and the Bull City Drug Company, which had two branches. Moore and Spalding were also involved with the bank and drug store. All right. And it says that the three also found the Merrick Moore Spalding Real Estate Company, the Durham Textile Mill. When Moore founded the Color Library, Merrick rented, then sold him the property, investing a quarter of the sales price back into the library. All right. So this is the information. All right, so where is the Mutual Life Insurance Company today? It said, though its buildings still stand prominently in downtown Durham, North Carolina, North Carolina Mutual may soon face liquidation due in part of mismanagement assets. The company's building was sold to developers in 2006. Though North Carolina Mutual remains a tenant, it also changed its name from North Carolina Mutual Life Insurance Company to North Carolina Mutual in 2017 as part of rebranding project designated to reach new consumer, alert young African Americans to its history. Losing the company would signal the fall of another major pillar of the historic Haati community and Greater Durham. The company's impact and those of its founders and associates lasted for generations. They met practical needs, providing insurance, commercial rental, opportunities, and other services, as well as a sense of community and pride both to Black residents of Durham and in other communities across the U.S. Booker T. Washington and W.E.B. Du Bois famously at odds about the right path to Black freedom. Both visit Durham's Black Wall Street and praise his accomplishment. In his book, Entrepreneurship and Self-Help Among Black Americans, A Reconsideration of Race and Economics, John Sibley Butler notes the exceptional impact that Durham, as an example, was to have on the national development of Afro-American enterprise. He quotes a passage from a 1928 issue of the St. Luke Herald, Richmond, Virginia. Go to Durham. You need the inspiration. Go to Durham and see the industrious Negro at his best. Go to Durham and see the cooperative spirit of Negroes at its best. Go to Durham and see Negro business with aggregated capital of millions. Go to Durham and see 22 Negro men who honestly and business sagacity are making modern history. Among your New Year's resolve to go to Durham. All right. So that's the information for today regarding to John Merrick, the African American entrepreneur, business owner. So I'm gonna leave out with this. We have to get back into the habit of supporting more Black businesses, especially the ones that are struggling, because if we support more of our businesses in our community will be striving at that point. And it will give those business owners who have a restaurant business and also a barbershop business or a beauty salon business to start up another business that will help to expand the community. So this is one of the reasons why you hear people talk about entrepreneurship in the Black community, economics, because it's very important, because we don't really have the generational wealth. You see what I'm saying? When we do get the wealth, right, we should want to be able to start a business. We should be able to want to invest to where we can be able to grow and expand. But you got to be able to go to an area where you know you're going to get consumership and you know you're going to get a lot of business as well. I said this before. I believe that if anything, if somebody's going to receive donation in our community, it should be the Black business owners. They should be the first one to receive donation because they put in the work of building their businesses and building their brands in the community. So those are the first people that should receive donation. Okay, they should receive those donations. And if I was to say the amount should start at $50,000. It should start off at $50,000 donation. Then it should go up from there. That's just my thought on it. But yeah, a lot of Black businesses can use a lot of help, especially in a time like this during the pandemic. They should be able to get a lot of help and get a lot of resources. And then also those who are doing the philanthropy work by giving back to the community and being able to provide resources, those are other ones that should be able to receive donation as well too. Okay. But we got to understand this. You know, it's a very serious game out here. It's a game that you got to be careful what you're playing too, because you're only giving the hands that you are dealt with. So by you giving the hands that you are dealt with, you got to use those hands and you got to be able to play them wisely. So whatever card is on deck, whatever cards that you got in your hands, it's either going to be a winning hand or it's going to be a losing hand. But you got to play with those cards though, right? Until something better becomes available. So you have a chance of winning and you may have a chance of losing. You never know. We all wish to have 40 acres in a mule, right? We all wish to have 40 acres. But what if you don't get that 40 acre? What if you get 10 acres, 5 acres, or maybe 20 acres? You have to deal with what you got. You have to make use of those 5 acres, that 10 acres, or that 20 acres until something else becomes available. That's how it goes. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I'm getting ready to go ahead and log off of here. So this is your girl Tiffany, and I'm closing out by saying, may peace and power elevation be to all of you. Please be safe out here. Take it easy on yourselves. And until next time, I will reconnect with you guys. All right. Thank you. Deuces. Peace.